Hi, Dave. Yeah, I own a paint contracting company, and we got 28 people, and we're in that $3 million a year annual revenue category. And
Good for you.
my
Well
question
done.
would, yeah, thanks. My question would be is getting some ideas on how to finance large projects. Where we run into cash flow issues when we work for a month, we get our contract, we work for a month, and then all of a sudden we start, incurring the costs up front, buying the materials, getting things going, and then, submit the pay request 30 days later. Everybody gets approved from the engineer, the architect, and the owner. And then the next thing you know, you end up usually waiting another 30 days for a check. So my question would be: is that something that you would, while we're saving up our money with our retained earnings to be able to cash flow ourselves, would we be better off to try to give a 2% 10 net 30 discount, or would we try to just put some finance charge in there and just have maybe project financing?
What I would do is, and you're right. The answer ultimately is to build the retained earnings to handle the cash flow fluctuation. That's a pretty standard thing in your world. The other thing I would do is I would manage the relationship tighter. I'm gonna set the terms on the front end. Okay, guys, you guys are huge commercial contractors, engineers, architects. Y'all are all fancy people. I'm a painter. I need my money.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I'm not your bank. Do I look like a banker? I'm not a banker. So I'm not your bank. And so you guys dragging crap out 60, 90 days and playing around cash flowing off of me isn't going to work. I can't do work for y'all if you don't pay very, very, very promptly. Now, I understand that you have to get sign off on the quality of the work before you can release the check, but then you need to release the check. I don't need to be drug out after that. And you could tighten this up by 2 months if you with some conversations on the front end at the point you take the job. And the more you've done work with a contractor, the more they're going to accept that conversation because they like you, they want you to have the job, they like your quality of work, you're delivering, you're not causing them any issues, and so they want to be a blessing to you to keep you around. But if it's a brand new contractor, it's harder, but I'm still going to have this conversation at the beginning of every one of these jobs. And if then they don't pay me, I'm going to have the conversation again and say, guys, remember when we talked about this? I'm not your bank. I don't look like a banker. I look like a painter. And there's a reason. It's because I'm a painter. I'm not a banker. And I'm not carrying your butt. You guys got to get these checks released. So, and you can reset the relationship. And what you're asking for there is not a thing. All they're doing is either trying to ride the float on you intentionally, or they're just sloppy. And they're just, they're pushing paper around on the desk and it's not getting paid on time. That's all it is. And in either one of those two cases, when you go, hey, I'm a painter, I'm not a banker. And I have used this myself. I'm a small business guy. I am not your banker. You're not cash flowing off my butt. That's not that, you're going to do that. There's going to be additional charges here. And, we're going to build some more profit into this if I'm your banker. Because I didn't realize I was a banker, or I would have been charging you Visa rates, So we can figure this out. I can add 18% on top of this if you want me to, or y'all can just decide to pay on time, whichever. I've had this conversation before. And I'll give you an example. In the radio world, when we were making a ton of money on talk radio back in the day, because we're a huge talk radio show on the Ramsey side. And, we would sell an ad to a company through an ad agency. And so here's how this works. It's kind of like his situation, all right? We would bill at the end of the month the ad agency for that month's ads. They would sit on it for at least 30 days. Then they would bill the customer that we were running the ads for, who would sit on it another 30 days. We were getting our money like 4 months later by the time all these people did a dance. And so we finally just said, guys, We bill you, and I don't really care where the money comes from, but it lands on our desk in 15 days. Otherwise, we're not going to run your ads. That's the terms. Well, that's not how it's done in the industry. I don't give a crap. I'm not your bank. You're buying ads from me. If you need a bank, go see a banker. If you need a loan to float something for 120 days, you're going to have to do that on your own. I don't look like a banker. I don't even like bankers. We're not doing this. And so, we got to where some of the agencies, the big agencies, wouldn't do business with us because they live off of the dadgum float. And we don't let you live off the float on us because we're a cash business. It's cash on the barrelhead. I'm going to bill you at the end of the month, and it's 15 days. You screw around with that, I'm going to start billing you in advance. I won't run your ads until you pay me in advance. If you want to really screw around with this. And here's the good news. There's only one place to buy ads on the Ramsey Show, from me. It's the only way you can get on. So I get to set the terms. Hello. And you can't buy these anywhere else. They're not available anywhere else except through me. And so, we reset this and pissed off some agencies, but then once they kind of got used to it, they were okay with it. They just figured out a way to get paid. They paid up front or whatever, and then I got my money 15 days later. But I'm not your dadgum bank. And sometimes, and I just go, guys, I'm a little small business. Y'all are a big fancy agency in New York. Y'all are so smart. You're just brilliant, but I need a dadgum money. That's how it works. Dave's a hillbilly. Just count on that. That's what we're going with right here. That's the overall plan.